I'm Graham Pyman and I lead the team at Jubilee Church Derby. I'm married to Sarah and we're also foster carers working with Derby City Council. As you read scripture, time and again you come across stories of fostering and adoption. Think about Moses, for example, raised by Pharaoh's daughter. What about Ruth, cared for and adopted into her mother-in-law's family? Even Jesus himself being raised by Mary, his human mother, and Joseph, who's effectively a foster or adoptive dad. If you look for them, the stories are there. God welcomes us into his family, and I believe that he's calling us to welcome others into ours too. Just in case you need some more convincing, you get passages like the one we find in James chapter 1, where we're told that religion that God our Father accepts as pure and faultless is this: to look after orphans and widows in their distress, and to keep oneself from being polluted by the world. Did you get that? To look after orphans, those who have no family to care for them. I guess in our culture we'd call them vulnerable children, the sort of children who get taken into care. I'm sure you've heard on the news recently that fostering services up and down the country are under tremendous pressure right now, and Derby is no exception. Even before coronavirus, the fostering service in Derby was under tremendous pressure, really creaking at the seams. And so for some time now, we've felt as church leaders that this was an area that God was calling us to focus on. And we've been praying and asking God what our response might be to this need. How might the church help? Vulnerable children coming into care need safe, loving homes, a place to belong, sometimes for a short while, sometimes for longer. I guess in our language, we'd call that hospitality. And I believe that God is calling us to radical hospitality. This is central to who we are as Christians. And so surely with this biblical instruction, this biblical mandate to love and to care, the church should be able to offer some response. Well, 50 families is our response to this need. It's an initiative of Derby City Vision, working with Derby City Council, Safe Families and Home for Good. We're praying and asking God for 50 families, 50 new fostering homes over the next 2 or 3 years to work with Derby City's fostering service. Well, since coronavirus this year, things have only got worse. The system is under even greater pressure. For example, in the period April to June this year, there was an increase of nearly 50% of children coming into care compared with the same period last year. 50%. This is huge. So my question today is this: could you help meet this need? Could you be a foster carer? Like I was saying, there's a massive need in Derby right now. And too often children end up being placed with foster carers far from home. When children come into care, very often they remain in contact with birth families, see them perhaps on a weekly basis. And for that to continue, they need to be fairly close. It's also really important for them to remain, if at all possible, in the same school, with friends around them, teachers that know them. But so often when carers aren't available locally, children end up being placed far from home. I've even heard stories of children in Derby being placed as far away as Kent in one direction and Scotland in the other. This isn't right. Surely we can do better than this. Surely we can see things change. And friends, we can be part of the solution. As I talk to people about this subject, very often people are too quick to say, I couldn't do that because, and then they list off various reasons. Well, I want to suggest to you that maybe you could. Maybe God's calling you to be part of this solution. So why not pray? Why not ask God if this is something that he's calling you to be part of? I recognise that this isn't for everybody, and maybe if you couldn't be a foster carer, you could certainly help love and support those in your church who are. But maybe you could do it. Maybe it is something that God has got for you. So, if you'd like to find out more, I want to invite you to an information evening on Tuesday the 20th of October. It's at 7:30 in the evening and it will be on Zoom online. Hear some stories from Christian carers, hear from some social workers from Derby City, and find out what the next steps might be for you if you wanted to find out more. More information about this information evening is on our website at 50families.org, and details are on there too about how you can register and get the Zoom link for this meeting. Come and be part of the solution. Make a real difference to a vulnerable child's life here in this city, here in Derby, and offer radical hospitality to those who need it the most.